of us has a bit of some mental health condition, true?
Yes, to some extent.
Yes, to some extent.
Yes.
What was the extent it is to?
Because we are human beings and we react to our environment, sometimes we get off a little bit. Yes. So
are we aware of it when we do?
Sometimes no, and sometimes 2 years. Sometimes we think that if we keep quiet, the other person will take us for granted. Therefore, we intentionally want to react for the person to know that, yes, we can actually stand for our rights. So sometimes yes, sometimes no. But like Doc said, sometimes we say all life stresses, but sometimes we want to qualify it a little. Normal life stresses, not when someone has intentionally or when something disastrous, when something negative has happened to the person. But all the life stresses that it is assumed or accepted to be normal. That is what we expect every human being to be able to manage and sail through safely. But for example, if the other things, the unexpected, if the traumas, if some people, for example, one is raped, there is this flood, there is this natural catastrophes and robbery. But still we expect you to behave normal. But we know that since you have been subjected to these unforeseen happenings, you might go off a little bit. But even then, we expect you to at least be able to manage it.
Would you say that in terms of managing it, it differs from person to person because of our capabilities of handling things?
Yes. It differs because just as we were mentioning that having good mental health, that's what Reverend is talking about. That so we have mental health, and then you could have good mental health or poor mental health. Now, when you have good mental health, then like he's saying, you go through everyday challenges. And when you have good mental health, when the catastrophic events happen, because you have good mental health, you are still able to function productively in it. Now, when you have experienced catastrophic situations or stressful situations for a long time, what happens is that your brain, which is processing everything you are going through, goes into a state where it becomes overwhelmed. It changes the mode within which your body is functioning, and it puts your body in a supposed high alert situation. And in that state, it sacrifices a lot of the normal functions, like your immune system, like blood supply to certain aspects of your body is even reduced. Everything gets down regulated so that the brain can have all the support it needs. Now, if that situation does not change and you persist in that situation, then it means all the other functions you have, which could be reproductive, immune function, etc., all gets less attention. So when you're now going through a very catastrophic situation, you do not have the resources to deal with it. And that is when we begin to see the signs that you have been in a state where your mental health is on the decline, and you probably have poor mental health. And that's where we see the consequences of either your mood being dysregulated, your sleep being dysregulated, your appetite can be altered. And in the extreme situations, you might even begin to feel so overwhelmed. Being alive will no longer have any real value for you.
Are you saying that if somebody is having difficulty sleeping, somebody doesn't have appetite for food, can be a mental health issue?
Yes.
It's a mental health issue.
It's a mental health issue.
Yes, it is. The brain is responsible for your total functioning. It is the one that controls your sleeping and your wake cycle. It is the one that is responsible for you detecting that you need food and feeling hungry and therefore going for food. It is that which helps you plan and organize yourself, prioritize, solve problems, control your impulses. It is the one that's responsible for remembering details, memory, for speaking, for listening, for acting, for moving, and for restraining yourself. So anytime the brain functions goes down, you see that these functions become impaired. So it can be a disturbance in sleep where you struggle to fall asleep, or you fall asleep but you are unable to maintain your sleep, so you wake up earlier than you intend, or you lose the sleep completely. And the same for appetite too. You can lose the feel to be hungry, you can lose your appetite, or you cannot even feel the taste of the food.
How do you attribute sleepless nights